Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my Code to Care video series. I'm doing a part 2 on open source versus proprietary models. So go ahead and watch part 1 if you haven't yet. But in this one, I wanted to show you how open source models compare to proprietary models. And there's really 2 ways to think about it. The first is how they rank in terms of accuracy or user satisfaction or that kind of thing. And what I'm going to do in a moment is go to my computer and show you a leaderboard. And this particular leaderboard is created by people typing in a question, like a chat question, getting 2 answers from 2 randomly chosen models, of which the user doesn't know what the models are, and then picking whether they think A is better than B is better than A, that they're tied, or they're both bad. And basically it uses that data to rank these models, and it's one of the leading leaderboards. And you're going to see that proprietary models rank higher than open source. Not that much higher. Open source models are in pretty good shape, I would say, but maybe as you would expect, the proprietary models, the ones people are trying to build companies on with revenue streams and that kind of thing by the models directly, sort of are the best right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my computer and I'll show you what one of these leaderboards looks like so you can get a feel for how proprietary compares to open source. Okay, let me show you what a leaderboard looks like. So the one I like the most is Chatbot Arena. It's the one I was just describing, the way it works. You go there. Here's the leaderboard tab, and you can see them down here. So they have all the models ranked, or not all the models, but all the well-performing models ranked. And then you can see where they come from, and then the license. So the word proprietary means it's a closed source model. And then you start to see other licenses. So nothing is like purely open source, like no license whatsoever. But some of these licenses are open enough for your use case. So you can see that all the top models are proprietary. And then when you get to number 9, then you start to see a more open license, Llama 3.1. This is a model. It's NVIDIA basing it on one of Meta's models. So you can see Meta, you can see NVIDIA, you can see Anthropic is that one's proprietary. But you can see different license types down here. Meta, Mistral. There's some Anthropic ones down here. There's some more open source Google ones. These licenses where it says MIT and where it says Apache 2.0. Let me find one of those. Here's one. Those are the most open licenses. But at any rate, open source is not too far behind. By the time you get to 9, 10, 11, 18, 22, then you're getting into more open source models. By 36, you have a wide open model with this Gemma 9B one. So that's basically how they rank, is that the proprietary on top, open source not too far behind. You definitely need to read the license terms because it might not be open enough. Some have a restriction where you can use it up until, 500 million users per month, and then you have to pay the creator of a model or things like that. But generally speaking, proprietary are the ones hosted in the cloud. You can't really see in them. You can't muck with them, that kind of thing. And then the other licenses, that's when you can start downloading them, putting in your on-prem environment, using them more freely, not having to pay the company money, those kinds of creating derivative works, fine-tuning it, training it yourself, that kind of thing. Hey there, I'm just popping in to say that I'd love to hear your comments and feedback on this video. I read all the comments, so let me know what you think. let me know what suggestions you have for my next video by putting in some comments below the line here. Thanks. All right, so that's what they look like on that leaderboard. So this is one way to think about the difference and how they rank together. But another way to think about it is the concept of time, that open source models are just behind in time to proprietary models. So if you would imagine a timeline, and on this date, a proprietary model comes out. So here's a proprietary model, and you start developing on this model. You like its performance. You're building some good use case and some software, that kind of thing. What you can expect later is that there'll be an open source model that gives you that same performance. So if you imagine that leaderboard, some of those open source models are better than proprietary models that were released a year ago or 2 years ago or that kind of thing. And so what you can expect is this kind of performance that you're building a use case on. You'll be able to use an open source model, a year in the future or something like that, that'll have just as good performance and might have some of the other positive benefits that you want. So open source models are just behind proprietary models in time. But sometimes software takes a while to build, a while to get adopted by your users. And so you may think of each project as starting with a proprietary model, really getting it solid in that manner. And then over time, a version 2, version 3, you replace it with an equally performing open source model to your original model. So I think there'll always be this relationship where open source models are just behind in time, but not so far behind. I think that you would want to consider open source as part of your AI strategy, because these models will be acceptable for your use cases and just kind of in a different time horizon than the proprietary models that you're currently working with. So that's it. I hope that was interesting, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Hey there, I hope you liked this video. I've added a next video at the end of this, so take a look at that if you enjoyed this. And if something resonated with you, please drop a comment at down below here. I read every comment myself, and I really appreciate hearing from you. Thanks.